Hello everyone, welcome back to English with Catherine. It's a lovely sunny day in England and I'm hoping it's the same where you are. I'm just so happy to see you again. It's been a whole week and here we are again. This is part 2 of how to sound like an English rose. So if you haven't checked out the first part, please go and watch it because it will just make this entire thing make more sense. And it'll be a more efficient use of time. So in the other video, it was more about what to say. So the content of your talking, of your speech, what to say and what not to say. This video, however, will be more about how to say it. So the sound of your voice. And if you just follow these guidelines, I promise you will be more likable and people will want to be around you more. We're going to look at breathing, tone and pitch, the pace, and a little bit on word stress and intonation. So whether you'd like to sound a little bit less monotone and have a bit more sparkle in your voice, or completely change the way that you come across, I can help you with that. So what are we waiting for? Let's start. Number 1, breathing. Now, we don't really think of breathing when we're learning English, really, do we? That's really something that we would relate to sport or singing, but I can tell you now it's very important. Now, when I was living in Brighton a few years back, I did a distance learning course. These days that would be called an online course, but then it was called distance learning. It was one of the first courses that was done online. It taught me how to be a singing teacher. So I was a singing teacher for a couple of years in Brighton. It was really fun. It was a great time of my life. I have very fond memories. But something that I learnt was how important breathing is. You need oxygen in order to make a sound, okay? Have you ever tried trying to have a conversation after you've run for the bus? You were just about to miss the bus and you had to run at full speed to catch it. There's no way you're going to be able to have a full-on conversation just after that. So the way the voice is produced is with air and vibrations. And the way that I used to teach my students, my singing students, to have a nice singing voice is to breathe from the diaphragm. It's not about breathing from the chest. Now, if you're not sure how to do this, there are some amazing breathing videos on YouTube, as with everything on YouTube. You can find anything. And I'll put some links in the description box so that you can go and have a look. Practice diaphragm breathing techniques. And by the way, the pronunciation of diaphragm, crazy. It looks like diaphragm, but it's actually diaphragm, just in case you needed to know that. The more relaxed your breathing is, the more calm and pleasant you will sound. And by the way, if you suffer with anxiety and panic attacks or anything like that, breathing techniques are amazing, and I have to tell you, they have helped me in the past. I was a very anxious person when I lived in London. So just breathe. Make sure you have enough oxygen to carry the voice along in your sentences. You need oxygen for that, so breathe. Number 2, speak slowly. Don't rush. Why? Why would you rush? So the point to make here is to just get comfortable with your speech. Don't feel like you have to speed up because the person listening is bored or something. Just be confident that what you're saying is interesting enough to hold their attention. And try not to communicate too much information. That will just overwhelm the listener and make them stressed and not want to talk to you. Your speaking should be slow, considered, calm. Remember, we are always thinking about the listener and how they feel and what you're putting them through when you're speaking to them. You should be giving to their energy, not taking it away. And some people I have dealt with in the past, they have sucked away my energy, and after I leave them, I am exhausted and I have to lie down. I'm sure you know what I mean. Also, slower talking is related to confidence. And a confident speaker will also come across as more sincere, more authentic and genuine. They will also come across as more honest and trustworthy. And these are all the characteristics that we need to have, right? So be comfortable with slower speech. What's wrong with just slowing down? Many animals are slow. Take the sloth for an example. and they have a great life. Number 3, pitch. Should you speak high or low? Well, I can tell you now, it is not high like a chipmunk. No. You want to avoid the higher frequencies. The interesting thing is, research has shown that speaking in a high voice relates to children and sounding childlike and immature. That's really not what you want to be going with, is it? And interestingly, when you speak too fast, you'll find that your voice gets higher and higher and higher until you sound like a little mouse. So in order to be taken more seriously, lower the pitch of your voice, speak in a lower voice, and speak slowly. A point on volume as well. Don't speak too loud. That's obvious! See, even saying that just, stress. Special tip. If you personally struggle with sounding too loud, slow down. It will help to make your voice quieter. Number 4, intonation. Perhaps the most difficult area of study and the one that everybody wants to know about. This is the area of study that deals with monotone voices. And typical human beings, we always want the difficult thing. We always want to achieve the hardest thing, like climbing Mount Everest. So it is really difficult to make your voice sound less monotone, especially if you really do have a very flat voice. But I'm here to tell you there is hope. There are things you can do. First of all, enunciate your words. Don't mumble and swallow them and eat them, as my student told me once. He said that some accents in England sounds like they're eating the words, and I've never forgotten how he said that. It's very important to enunciate not only certain words in the sentence, but also certain parts of the word. Check out my video on the schwa because that will help you understand that a bit more. Intonation inside words themselves. Just take, for example, the way we say hello. We don't say hello, hello, hello. That's monotone. Hello, how are you? It's much more interesting if you say hello, hello, hi, hey. If you listen, it's hey. It's sometimes a slide down, hey. So that's how we say hey. A friendly way to say hey is just hey. It slides down. The way that I pronounce hello, especially if I haven't seen that person for a while and I want to show how excited I am to see them, I say hello, hello, how are you? Okay, so let's look at that. Hello. It's like you start low and you go high and back low. It couldn't be more musical. Or you can say hello, hello, going from high to low. Hello, how are you? That's just kind of more common, I would say, like everyday hello. But if you haven't seen someone in a long time, definitely I would say it more hello. Word intonation in a sentence. So word stress. Which word do we stress? Now, generally speaking, and I am going to make more videos on this because every teacher will agree this is an absolute nightmare to teach. It's really complex. I'm trying to make it easy for you, and I am thinking of other ways to make this more simple. But just for today, the main thing you have to remember is with word stress, you want to stress the word. And when I say stress, I mean emphasize. So say it a bit louder. You want to stress the word that carries the meaning of the sentence. So in other words, if you didn't have that word, the meaning would be lost. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 examples of the same thing, but with the different word stressed in each one. Here we go. I adore you. I adore you. Here we have the stress on adore. We are stressing the word or the verb adore. And so the meaning of this sentence is basically trying to say that I love you. I adore you. We're putting the stress on that love to stress how powerful the love is. It's not just any love. It's not just any affection. It's powerful and strong. So that's the word we want to stress. Now listen to this one. I adore you. I adore you. Here we have the stress on you. So we really are trying to say that I adore you, not that friend over there, not that guy waiting at the bus stop. You. So really, you want to let that person know that you don't adore anyone else, or at least you adore everyone else less. So as you can see here, stressing the wrong word can completely change the essence or the meaning of the whole thing. So be careful. Lastly, I'm sure you know this, but tongue twisters are a great way to practice word stress. And I just so happen to love them. So I'm going to give you 3 tongue twisters that you can follow along with and practice to your heart's content. And you can see, again, the music of the language and which words are stressed and which words are not stressed. Now this one, my dad absolutely loves. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy means like hairy, by the way. You probably should know that. One more time. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Good luck! Number 2, a classic. She sells seashells on the seashore. 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 I think there's a longer version of that one, so I think I've basically made it quite easy. Anyway, practice that one. It's great for the sh sound and the s. Another classic. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. How many pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick? That is so difficult. Wow, what is it about the p sound that is so tricky? P. Peter Piper picked a Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. How many pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick? So I hope you've enjoyed this video about how to sound more like an English rose, or just forget the English rose. We can all be more like the rose, the most elegant, beautiful, yet resilient and strong flower of them all. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to. All the details are in the description box. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely weekend, a lovely evening tonight. And I'll see you next Friday for another video. Bye!